Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. It's your host Cyber Gaming Studios, and thank you guys for tuning in to this video. If you're a brand new subscriber, be sure to subscribe to this channel. And if you're a returning or new subscriber, be sure to smash that like button. As well, hit that bell notification icon so you guys don't ever miss a single video. I also want to also announce that I made a Patreon. If you guys want to support me on Patreon, the link is all the information you need is in the link is in the description, and you can support me $5 per month. It's not only help my channel, but also help and support me, but I'll also help support my development builds for Gamer OS online, so I can have direct downloads and OTA updates available 24/7. Unfortunately, I am on Social Security, so this affects me dramatically. So supporting me is the only way that I can make extra money on the side per month. So please support me if you guys can. I appreciate it, but that's all up to you guys. I'm not going to tell you guys you can't have to. But either way, let's get on with today's video. So in today's video, I wanted to talk to you guys about the life of a person with disability, regardless if it's mental, physical, or emotional. And every single day, these people, such as me, have to live with a life that they're not going to have any money to get what the things they want. They can't save any of their money because they don't have the funds. The majority of their money is going towards either bills or just simply getting their needs, personal and hygiene needs. It just really sucks because we're not getting enough money to be able to survive in an economy that is really terrible. And a lot of people want to assume that, oh yeah, we can afford all this stuff, but we don't. It's because we're selling our stuff, and a lot of people want to pass judgment on us because they're paying paying taxes to pay us. But if you're once you listen to this video, I hopefully it can make you understand of what we go through on our everyday life, and how bad it can be, and how selfish you can think of how we have to deal with it. There are some people that don't feel this way. There's some people that may object to this story, but it's actually out of experience that I've personally experienced, and I want to share with everybody of my experiences living with a disability and how much of it affects me. So I'm gonna try to do it in a very short video, at least less than 13 minutes long, because that's how much this video basically is. But this gameplay I recorded is. But so yeah. So let's get on to the basics, and let's get on to financial problems. For all people who have disability, we're always gonna have a really bad financial life. This has nothing to do with either how much money we loaned or how much money we owe. This is basically in general, even if you didn't do those things. And I'm gonna explain to you why. Every single month, you're get paid a fixed check. This is not a flexible check. This is something that they're not gonna flexibilize just because of your conditions or something. This is a fixed check that they give you every single month for a whole entire year, and every year to 2 years they increase it by $5 to $12 every year, and it's not best, but it's better than not having no raise at all. But the problem here is that about 80 to 90% of our Social Security check are going to go towards either bills, food, etc., etc., and about almost the majority, we're going to only have about 10% left minimally to get our needs, our hygiene, our personal, things to keep us clean, etc., and other necessities for the house. By the time you get all these stuff, you're not going to have any money for the rest of the month, unless you have money saved up, and that's really rare to have money saved up from your own Social Security check, unless you're living with somebody who is actually have full-time work, and that's the only way you can survive. But if you're living with another person who's also in the same situation, it doesn't matter either. If you combine both checks, all that money is going to be gone, especially if you have a kid as well. Goodbye to that. The most places that you live, and depending on what state you are, Florida's horrible when it comes to if you want to live there, so don't live there. But financially it takes a toll on you because you're always going to struggle with money. You're always going to struggle with, how on surviving, because all it is your whole entire life is trying to survive. You can either there's a day you can die, you can go out without food. There's maybe 3 days you may go out with food because you don't have the money at all. And yeah, food stamps play a part, but depending on how much you pay out, which the majority of the fucking check, they'll send you a less amount. Like, for example, if you're paying over $900 and it takes your whole fucking entire check, they're only gonna send you $98 because they expect you to have extra money laying around to get yourself food to survive. How does that make any sense? And it doesn't. And the problem here is that the government thinks that we can survive on the money that we have, and we really can't. And people don't realize that people with Social Security or any kind of form of disability income relies on that money to even stay alive, because that's the only thing that they can receive. And I have a disability and I'm on SSI. That's the only amount that I get. But unfortunately, it does take a toll on me financially as well. And still to this day, I'm still struggling financially because, yeah, I'm spending my money on bills. Like, I have to pay rent, I have to pay my phone bill. I also have to, I don't know, I had to pay PSN for this month for like 3 more months, and I basically only have like $1.25 left in my account, less for the whole entire month, and I have to rely on my girlfriend, which I personally, it does kind of bother me a little bit that I do have to depend on her. It's not really like I have a choice, but either way, I tried my best, and she supports me, and I support her, and that's what matters. But either way, it can take a toll on anybody, regardless of what situation you're in, and especially if you're living with another person with as well with Social Security, regardless of what condition they have, it also puts a toll on them too. Because when we run out of money, most of the time, majority of the 98% of the time, we're gonna run out of money before the halfway mark of the month, unless you're very one of those cheapskates where literally you'll save more of your money, but if you're going to live like a really good, you don't want to live a good life, but you want to live in a more decent life, then it's going to cost you all your money, and that's what most people who are disabled, if you're living in a house, basically spends their money on, so they can support their family and keep their house clean and keep themselves clean, et cetera, and so on and so on. The problem here is that halfway through the month, we had to decide, if we don't have no money at all, no food stamps, no nothing, and we need food to survive, we're going to have to, we always go into the financial problem that we don't want to go in, and that is pawning an item that we really cherish for money. And basically we go to a pawn shop, and we'll go to a pawn. I don't know if a lot of people do this, but I did it personally. We went to a pawn shop every single month. It would be the rinse and repeat process, and we would not sell the item, but we would pawn the item for money. They would give us a certain amount of money. We would use that money to get food for that specific days or for the next few days, and then and we would keep doing that until like the end of the month, when we get our money, and then we either go and buy the item that we pawn back, and halfway in the month we do the same thing. Either we pawn the same item, or we pawn a different item with equal or greater value, and that's how we would survive. Not many people do this, but I know that there's plenty of people that do, especially if you're more wiser enough to know that some things are better sacrificing than dying. But that really takes a toll on you. And not only that, but you also most people who are like me are antisocial. I'm not antisocial anymore. I'm actually really socialized with a lot of people now, because I have a better life than I did back then. But most people out there are more antisocial, so they'll stay in the house all the time and not try to talk to a lot of people They will just sit there, do their own thing, and you'll never see them out of the house unless you see them go pay bills, go do what they need to do, or just going out for family, time, etc., etc. And that could take a toll on you because can't talk to nobody. You're just there alone, and etc., etc. And it really sucks. But either way, it's a very tough time because when you have a disability, it can affect you mentally and overwhelm you in so many ways. And I think that's where it draws the line because a lot of people can try to say, oh, their hard life is hard. Oh, they're exhausted. Oh, they don't have the money. They don't have life. All this shit to convince you, oh, that their life is worse than a person who's disabled. And in reality, no matter what anybody or person say, a person with a disability, especially if they're living with somebody else who has a disability as well and only living onto a month-to-month paycheck, has a way worse life than a person who is able to work, who's able to save money, who's able to have home, be able to buy food, etc., etc., and as well live a normal, perfect life. Even if they're poor, a disabled person is always going to have a more horrible life. So if people can just stop trying to convince other people that, people with a disability has a lot of money because we're paying them and they can support themselves and they can buy this themselves, and they really can't. It really sucks. And I know that a lot of people are going to feel petty about this, and I know a lot of people, some people already will feel petty for me, but I'm not here to want your sympathy or not your sympathy, but your pettiness or something like that. All I want here to do is to express how I felt and what I've been through and what maybe other people in the world who are in the same situation or similar situation of being disabled, living with another person who's disabled, experiences every single day. And trust me, every year things go off the rails, so it may happen to some people, but things always go wrong, and when they do, you realize that there's nothing much you can do, and you have to really go based on what you can do. And that's where we draw the line here. I don't want to go too far details. This is probably part one. I'm going to probably make another part. So this is probably going to be financial problems, title. Hopefully I can understand if I can figure out the title for this video. Hopefully I already did by the time you see this video. But don't always look at a person who has a disability for granted. Don't judge them because they have nice clothes or something. Just remember that they may dress nice, but if you see a person who has a disability, they have a worse life than compared to what you have, and they have less stuff than what you have. And when you compare your stuff to them, just remember, it doesn't matter what they are, who they are, or what they have. It's about who they are that makes them them. Because in the end, they're the ones living the worst life, not you. See you guys.